for radio buttons and checkboxes, notice what we've done here is that to use radio buttons or checkboxes, notice that we use type radio or type checkbox. The one thing to notice here is notice that we have embedded the input field. We've wrapped it inside of a label field. See that? What that does is that it allows you to increase again the area that is touchable with your finger or with your mouse. Okay, so that if you don't do that, you would actually have to click on the actual radio button. Right? But if you wrap it inside of a label, the whole text becomes clickable. So it's easier on the user to have a better experience that they don't have to peck at this. Right? They can click anywhere around the area. So that you do that by wrapping a label around the input field. Right? The whole thing becomes clickable. Okay, so the text after the input field. The other thing here to note is that these radio buttons, by default, they don't know anything about each other. Right? So they're not mutually exclusive. Typically, radio buttons, the behavior that we would expect is that they're mutually exclusive. Right? So if I click yes, I cannot also have no. Right? So the way that the browser would know that these are related to one another is that they would have the same name. Right? Here we don't have a name, but so for instance, you might have here name A, and just because I don't have enough space here. There we go. So now the browser knows that these two, since they have the same name, they know that they're mutually exclusive. Right? If I click on one, it'll unselect the other, and vice versa. Yes? Meaning that if this gets submitted to the server would see A is equal to no or A is equal to yes. Right? That's what gets submitted to the server. On a checkbox, checkboxes are actually not mutually exclusive. Right? So if I have a name here, say B, and I have multiple checkboxes with the same name, it would mean that B could have multiple values. Right? All the ones that are checked. So B would be a comma-separated list of the checkboxes that are selected. Right? That's what would get submitted to the server if I have multiple checkboxes. So I could have multiple checkboxes with one name, another multiple checkboxes with another name. Right? And each one would be independent of each other. Okay?